like a giant microchip of itself. There's so much microchips in the United States. It's like a giant gun being held against the rest of the planet, holding it hostage and saying, you must bequeath to me all your intricate knowledge about shamanism and all your shamanic practices, or else we're gonna recolonize you. We're gonna set up more economies all over the world, and we're gonna enslave your ass with your own evil dictators that we set up and so forth. But that's the whole point, is that they need microchips in order to do this. And I'm very sure that the original racist plot of the world, original racist story plot of the world, was that whites were actually retarded. They were born retarded. White people with colored eyes and blonde hair or brown hair, or black hair for that matter, and any white person at all who's capable of having blue eyes, or has blue eyes, or green eyes, or yellow eyes, or whatever, any combination of anything, that's colored, would have actually been born mentally retarded, physically handicapped, just mutated. And that might be real, because there's no telling how long microchips have actually existed. Because if we say that if they sprang into existence, from the 60s into the present age, work began on them, in the 60s, and then it started happening in the 50s, sometime between the 50s up to the present. It just proves that before that, whites were already anticipating the creation of the microchip, and so they were eating dead people and equating their brains to microchips, which was in Satanism, that is a perfected mind. It is a very accurate mind, a mind that sees all of humanity. It sees all the subtle events of humanity before it happens. Every single event that can happen anywhere at any time, they can see it. And this is part of the shamanic practices of whites. This is why they build buildings up into the sky. This is why they build everything the way they do. Yes, you could say it's a practical way of living when you've overpopulated the planet to build vertical structures for humans to live in. The point is that they needed their original racist conquistadors. I'm not going to say conquistadors, but they're racist colonizers, because I am Spanish. I would never want people to think that my own Spanish ancestors vomited and shat on dead Native Americans, or dead slaves, dead African slaves. I don't believe that's happened. I don't believe the Spanish did that because they were Catholics, and they eventually, gave up on slavery. But I do believe the British were probably insane enough, probably creepy enough to do it, and they were hiding under the guise of Christianity, because I don't think they were very vigilant Christians if they continued being slave owners for a very long time, and then even the most racist, evil people on earth at one time, because the whole reason there is a civil rights movement, the whole reason there's a civil war and so forth, is because the British were the racist ones. They were the ones who didn't want to give up on their slaves, and they had to complete this gigantic satanic ritual so that they don't create retarded children, so that they themselves can keep themselves sane, not sane, but accurately predicting the outcome of all the events happening around them the moment they're born. And I think this was happening immediately. The first time a white person killed an indigenous person because they would have eaten them. They eventually perfected that ritual and built the modern world as you knew it. So the modern world is built on a default of whites killing people, vomiting and shitting on their dead bodies, and then harnessing those dead people's memories and their physiology, apparently, because whites built Western science, and in Western science they believe that there are cells, there's DNA, there are things that can be used to exploit human physiology if humans are equated to food. If humans can become food, then other humans can exploit their physiology. And in that way, they're getting, and I've explained in other videos of how they could easily get away with killing and eating people, you know. The railroad tracks themselves look like DNA, and railroad tracks were built before humans declared that human physiology is created from something that looks like a railroad track, a flattened out piece of DNA. An untwisted DNA looks like a fucking railroad track. And everyone, you know, this country was co-optively built. The United States was co-optively built. Many cultures participated in the creation of railroads. So the Chinese, blacks. If Native Americans didn't participate in it, they surely rode on death trains, carting them throughout the United States, which I know that's an unrecorded history, but I know it happened because how else would if whites were going to colonize them, they were going to kill them. And if they were going to kill them, they were going to eat them. Because I know that because I've observed Satanists and I've observed what they do. Don't ask me how I know things like this happen, because it's a very sad and unfortunate reality for me to have to know how something like that happens. And I know that if I know I'm not the only person that knows that this is going on. And there's evidence of this happening in modern culture. You know, in pop culture we have the Matrix movies. The central idea in the Matrix movies is that humans in the Matrix are eating other humans, and when humans die in the Matrix, they're flushed into a sewer, and then they're broken down and fed to other humans in the Matrix. They say it happens so smoothly, you know, that it's clearly a complex machine that we're on, but it's bullshit. It's all just rich Satanists controlling things so accurately and quickly that they get to say they're equal to a supercomputer. They're equal to the most advanced human creation that has ever happened. They're equal to artificial intelligence. That's their fancy way of saying they're sorry for co-opting the intelligence of all humans on Earth by eating accurately different groups of indigenous people and co-opting human history, corrupting human history in its natural sequence of events that were going to happen. But I know that the world is the way it is because maybe all of us here are only here to learn the lesson of vigilance ourselves. Because whites were very overly vigilant about upkeeping their satanic ritual, about upkeeping their own practices that keep them healthy, rich, smart, and capable of controlling the world. And I think all of us are here to learn that lesson of vigilance. But it's not vigilance in the way that they want us to understand it. Whites want us to understand what vigilance is, that helps them continue their satanic ritual. They want us to understand it, that it's learning differential equations, graduating from Harvard University, and majoring in software engineering is the type of vigilance they approve of, you know. Majoring in, some higher education that is within the spheres, within the realm of Western science. Their models of information need to be validated by us, and that's the only way you can become successful. And that's the way they want you to be vigilant. They want you to be vigilant in that you know how to do very expensive mathematical equations. You know how to control their very expensive technology, which they still claim is not racist because many people in this day and age contribute to the creation of microchips and microprocessors, computer coding language, and so forth. No, it's not true. All of the modern technology that we have sprang into existence very quickly in a short amount of time. Because I will still say that if it wasn't racist, it would have occurred over like 200 years, not like 80 years, okay? 300 years, 400 years. And there wouldn't have had to have been a precursor or a default of genocide happening. There wouldn't have had to have been a bunch of people being sexually exploited, physically exploited, and their dead bodies being mistreated. If I can't say they're being exploited without validating Western science, their bodies are still being mistreated. I have to say it's mistreated because, if, let's say, before Satanists became big pimps like they are in the modern days, if it was in ancient times and someone vomited and shat on a dead body, all they were going to say about it is that the person had parasites, the person had some disease, because that was before modern medicine, it was before modern technology. And that's what Satanists got to do. They got to validate their expensive world, their expensive technology and medicines and everything, because indigenous people were somehow proven to be inefficient at controlling viruses, at controlling sickness, at controlling their own health, and that's not real. I don't think it was real. I think everything that happened, all the diseases that happened, were a result of colonization. It was a result of Satanists making that effort to force people to identify things as sacred and other things as not sacred, to have that dual mindset, to experience pain and suffering, sickness, injury, death, chaos. That's their adage, is order from chaos. And they have created order from chaos. They first created the chaos, and then they created the order. And a microchip is a physical representation of that alchemical, or of that philosophical stone. First they create the chaos, then they create order out of it. The chaos is indigenous people fighting them, stopping them from trying to create the chaos. As a result, they create more chaos. They kill them, vomit and shit on their bodies, eat them, and maybe shit them on the skeleton coast, create silica. 100 years later, there's a bunch of computers that are helping people accurately understand the world, that still builds upon their belief system that they forced upon everyone and said that it was helping them. It was lifting them up out of pain and suffering. It was lifting them out of poverty. It's lifting them out of hunger, disease, parasites, what have you. No. Because here's the problem. I'm a modern human, and I've had parasites. I've had I've had sickness, I've had hunger, thirst, I've had pain. I'm a poor, modern human, and I live with all of these problems. And I know how this is happening. Satanists need to exploit the minds of people like me and other people who are born under the colonization, who are being born because they are a result of colonization. They are a result of Satanists altering human history by killing certain groups of people and doing what they have done with them. And the most powerful tool that humans have as the beings that we are is belief and understanding the complexities of the world around us. And all of this is just going to end up being a lesson in vigilance for all of us if we are so negatively affected by Western science as the default in how the world works. Because I know there are people who live in a world, there are still people everywhere who live in a world where Western science is not a default to how their world works. There are plenty of people on this planet, if I can say it's a planet. Who knows what anything is, but I'll never say it's not a planet. I wouldn't say it would negatively affect me to believe that the Earth is a sphere, because that just makes sense. After I won't invalidate all things Western science purports. I won't say that trees don't need sunlight and water, and that the world probably is not a sphere. I won't say that, because human heads are spheres, and it's analogous. If I know nothing, and that's the whole point, is that our world, and as I only know everything that I know because of Satanism. I don't know what complex models of information exist high up in the hierarchies of the quantum physics community. I don't know what new discoveries they are believing or not believing in, or what they've abandoned or cast to the side, or what they've discovered, as a result of people like me bitching. I don't know, and I don't care, because it's not something I will ever be a part of, or would willingly want to choose to be a part of at this point, because I am learning the lesson of vigilance in my life. And one thing that it always sticks with me is that if we are all meant to learn quantum mechanics and to understand how to control quantum computers and to build intricate technology that can accurately exploit the models of information that we believe in, and control the world in a very convenient way without causing harm to people, animals, the environment. What I want to say is we all would have been born understanding how to do that. And I wasn't born understanding quantum mechanics or biology or chemical synthesis or engineering. I wasn't born understanding all of that. The only thing I was born understanding was my breath and subtle changes in my awareness. And that's basically a central principle in all of the ancient religions of the East. It's like in Buddhism and Hinduism, their central model, or their belief is just in the breath and in the awareness, and just harnessing your awareness. We need to be. I want to be overly vigilant and conscientious meditator or Christian, for that matter, in the way that I want people to realize that in any religion you can take part in the post-colonization world that we live in, where we have seen so much evidence of colonization having happened. And if you can't say that we actually believed in it when we were born, I've personally lived a colonized person's life my whole life, and I've known that it's real because I've lived it. And I don't really want to talk about what happened to me or why, or, whatever. It's not important. What's important is that, if you personally feel taxed spiritually using a phone, using a computer, if you feel like something from you is being taken away from you feel like your mind is being sucked out of the computer and being transported somewhere else, just don't do it. Don't mess with the computer. Don't learn computer programming. If you can feel like something very, like a radical change in your consciousness happens when you start learning computer programming. It just seems weird. I just feel like maybe I personally experienced no benefit from learning computer programming or even learning to use an expensive computer precisely. I just feel like maybe it's my bad because I am a product of colonization. My family is ethnically diverse, and it would be all of this technology is designed to harness my consciousness, my family's consciousness, and work within the existing infrastructures of consciousness harnessing technology, consciousness sharing technology, because that's the goal of the Satanists, is to take away the understanding of an individual that is their target, and use them to make themselves smarter and infinitely be able to predict everything about the world around them, and just keep them rich, And I won't say that there weren't indigenous selected indigenous people who were allowed to do their will. But I highly doubt it, because I haven't experienced it. I haven't met anyone other than... No, I won't ever say that I've ever met another indigenous person who's learned computer programming. I'll never say I met another indigenous person there, because if they were, I don't know if they were helping in this gigantic satanic ritual. I don't know if they were someone they selected and groomed psychologically their whole life to take part in the satanic ritual and to actually consume dead bodies consciously after mistreating those deceased bodies. I don't know if that person actually, because I will say there's only been one person that I've met, and he was a part of an anarchist community. And I've already known that the anarchist community is actually very racist. They're part of the Antifa community. They're part of the anti-fascist community. And the anti-fascist community goes around breaking property during protests about, cops killing black people. And that doesn't make sense. That actually does not make sense. And that if I were to take part in a protest like that, I know my family members would be killed really quickly. Like, I would not be able to survive being in a protest like that. That's how I know it's racist. Like, my family members would be killed if I went to an Antifa protest and smashed the shit out of shit. I can say I've done my own protests, invariably throughout my life. I've been a rebellious person, and I have done things individually on my own, and not have ascribed it to any one movement. It's just been my own attempt to say, fuck off, to this whole giant Satanist shamanic ritual that is the modern world. Because at all times, there's groups of Satanists sitting there meditating, observing the world, through their astral projection. Because I won't say that doesn't happen. I'm a hippie. I believe in astral projection. I believe in remote viewing, and I can say that I have been able to do that at one time. But I know if I was capable of doing that even slightly, I know that the most expensive, richest Satanists on earth can do it very, very well without any technology, and they've been doing that for hundreds of years and controlling the lives of the people they enslave that way. And one thing that I know is probably happening is that anytime someone does anything all over the world, there's a Satanist there mumbling in their gibberish pig Latin Satanist language that they use, which I don't know what it is. I can tell you it's whatever it is, and they're just describing everything that's happening, and they're cataloging, they're logging all that information somewhere. And I don't know if it's in computer programming. I don't know whether the computer programming languages are a cover for their racist, satanic chants or prayers or whatever. What if all the computer programming language is like it comes into existence, like whatever they want people to program and create within a computer, quantum computer or anything, just ends up being something they're describing as they're meditating, and watching people do things. That's how I know it works, and that's why I know it's there's just too great of a white majority of computer programmers. Like, whites created the computer, they created computer programming. I cannot say there was a critical mass of black people or Native American people contributing to computer programming language. And even if there was, it still wouldn't be right, because the microchips themselves, no one could guarantee weren't racist, weren't made of dead black people from the Darfur massacre, or weren't made from dead Indians from the Dutch East Company, the Dutch East Company, whatever, in India. They killed a bunch of Indians and enslaved them, or from any widely known genocide that happened around the world. Like, there's no telling. There's no telling, if those microchips weren't made from silica that they put dead bodies into after they shat and vomited onto them. And I sound like a lunatic. But I just want people to understand the significance of the Matrix movies and understand the significance of the modern world. I want to put this information out there because it's like, it would help me personally to just put it out there and to just leave that information for myself, if anything else. If I can't reach anyone else, I can at least record myself talking about it and come back sometime later in the future, because a series of misfortunate events happened to me or some shit. Now I become retarded, and I need to hear these words, spoken back to myself. And that's very powerful. And I know belief is very powerful. And I think, if we can get a critical mass of people talking about how racist modern technology might actually be, that's even better. And I would just want to contribute this to the critical mass that I know needs to happen if it hasn't happened already. Thank you.